Global language refers to a language that is learned and spoken internationally. It's important to mention that exist some specific characteristics that a language has to have in order to have considered as a global language. Some of these characteristics, in addition to the number of native and second language speakers, are the geographic distribution and its use in international organizations and diplomatic relations. For the better comprehension of this topic, it is important to know and understand the meanings of lingua franca. Lingua franca is a language or mixture of languages used as a medium of communication by people whose native languages are different. It is from the Italian language and Frankish, and also known as a trade language, contact language, international language, and global language. It's important to take in consideration that the word language acts as a lingua franca. This means that this language is a connection between people with different backgrounds and ethnicities and enable the easiest way of communication. The term of global language took force after the Second World War, specifically with the creation of the United Nations and other international organizations. This idea of global language born with the purpose of connection and communication between the cultures, traditions, policies, and common interests of different countries and persons. English is the nearest thing to a global language that exists today. Its range is the biggest the history has ever had, surpassing Latin or French. We would even claim that in the fields of business, academics, science, computing, education, transportation, politics, and entertainment, English is already established as the official language. According to the characteristics that we analyzed before, English language has the requirements to convert it in a global language. English language is the second or third most popular mother language in the world. English has around 350 to 400 million native speakers, and it's also one of the most popular languages between the non-English speakers, and at the same time, around 2 billion people can understand it. English is the mother tongue of 5 countries, as England and the USA. It is also the official language in some Caribbean countries. In addition, there are 57 countries where English is the second official language. Some of these countries are Pakistan, Singapore, and Philippines. In terms of science, business, aviation, computing, education, politics, and entertainment, English has become a lingua franca. Around 90% of airlines use the English priority language, and this situation applies for other subjects as maritime communications. If we talk about the scientific field, 2/3 of all scientific papers are published in English. In business, half of deals are conducted in English, and in the music industry field, almost 95% of the artists in music are launched in English language. In conclusion, English language is gaining force around the world as a global language. The presence of this language is becoming everyday essential and crucial for the modern world. Around the world, there are plenty of non-governmental organizations that are working to promote the different languages. In the case of the NGOs, there are some organizations that are recognized by the UN as a promoter of the English language. An example of this is the organization of ISEC, which is one of the programs created by the UN. ISEC counts with the uncountable projects that work around the 2030 agenda. One of these programs is We Speak. This project is focused on teaching of languages, more specific, the English language. In We Speak, the volunteers work with different situations, giving classes of English. Generally, these classes are given to children. As ISEC, there are many organizations that are joining this purpose. One of the organizations is the Global Language Project. This project is an educational nonprofit that supports the world language learning. The impact that the project has had during 2017 to 2019 is around 87,250 persons around the world. This kind of projects are contributing to the globalization of English, and every day, thanks to this kind of organizations, English language is taking an important place around the world.